This past Memorial Weekend, May 26th to the 28th, I hiked the world's largest active volcano, Mauna Loa. Since 1843, the volcano has erupted 33 times. The last time it erupted was 1984. Just last year, Kilauea Volcano and Lower Puna, which is only 20 miles away from Mauna Loa, erupted, leading to the evacuation of the Leilani Estates community. Just this past month, there have been over 80,000 seismic events, which led to the shutdown of Thurston Lava 2, Iliahi Trail, Byron Ledge Trail, and the Volcano Observatory. Despite a 3.4 earlier this month, on May 1st, we were still determined and also very fortunate to hike Mauna Loa. Aloha, I'm Matt, and this is my story on Mauna Loa. I landed in Hilo at 10:30 to meet up with Kenji and the others. We met up at Kanechi's, a popular local Japanese restaurant. I had the tonkatsu ramen. Then after lunch, we hit the road, specifically Highway 200, to stage one of our cars at the parking lot of the observatory. We made a brief stop at Pu'uhuluhulu. That's when Cisco discovered the nitrogen in our chips had expanded. Back on the road again, they chased me up the long and windy road up to 10,000 feet, where we stopped to acclimate for an hour. Some of us decided to test the effects of the thin air. Some did not fare so well. We looked back and noticed Pu'u'ulaula in the distance, where Red Hill Cabin is at, and you can see Pu'u'ulu, and the cabin is below the horizon there somewhere, and it is also at 10,000 feet. We dropped our car off the trailhead. That's when we ran into Larry Lee, who gave us some pointers on how to deal with the elevation. Let me backtrack here for a moment. Me and elevation, we don't get along. Back in June of 2015, some of my friends and I went to Lake Waiau, the highest lake in all of the US at 13,020 feet. What was supposed to be a mile-and-a-half stroll felt like a marathon. I didn't even make it. I planted my jello-y legs right here on this rock. I ended up missing out on this beautiful sunset shot by my friend Jared Nakahara. Knowing my situation, I bought an elevation mask to train with. I ran with it, worked with it, drove with it, and even ate with it. But believe me, upon further investigation, elevation masks don't condition you to deal with the higher elevations. Elevation masks only restrict the airflow of oxygen to your lungs. The problem with higher elevations is that there is not enough oxygen in the air. So I saw my doctor to get Diamox prescribed. The others tackled elevation a different way. Kenji hiked Mount Fuji last year, which stands at 12,388 feet. Annalyn was hiking every day at Coco Crater, which soars at 1,200 feet. Cisco was implementing the embryonic breathing method, and Kwan chose the ancient Chinese practice of breathing twice through the nostrils and once through the mouth. Show us how. So we checked into KMC, which is at 4,000 feet. When ascending, it's always good to stay at higher altitudes versus lower altitudes like Hilo. KMC was perfect. We woke up early the next morning, had breakfast, and went to the backcountry office, which opens at 8 a.m. to pick up our permits. It is important to know that just because you have a permit doesn't mean that you automatically get to hike Mauna Loa. The rangers can always revoke your permit if there's a storm, a whiteout, or significant seismic activity, so always have a backup hike. To acclimate properly, it's better to start at the bottom of Mauna Loa Summit Trail. It's about a half an hour drive to the trailhead from Highway 11. About halfway up, you'll see the Keaumoku flow to the right. Mauna Loa Trail, headed to Red Hill Cabin, Pu'u'ulaula. Here we go. The first lake to Pu'u'ulaula, Red Hill Cabin, is 7.5 miles. The terrain is really rough and hilly, so make sure you have really good shoes. Seeing these kerns or ahus as the Hawaiians call it, rock piles is a good sign. It means you're on the trail. It can get very confusing because all this lava here all looks the same. So this is the area above the gate, and you can see the cairns over here, or ahus, and it just all blends in with the trail, and it's very confusing. So, you know, if you're lost, stop and find these rock piles, these cairns, and that'll lead you to the right direction. They call this rope lava. There's two types of lava. Yeah, there's pahoihoi and there's Pahoihoi is smooth, billowy, fluidy, and ropey. And then there's which is loose, broken, sharp, and jagged. These were the last two trees we saw at 2.9 miles and 8,185 feet. Yeah, I believe this is the 1984 flow. At 8,700 feet, we started to see a lot of olivine crystals, also known as Hawaiian diamonds. We are at 8,911 feet, and there's a lava tube. And we're at the summit there, and I think Red Hill cabin is just right up over there. This was the largest lava tube that we ran into. My curiosity overpowered my caution. I had to explore. About 20 feet in, it was complete darkness, but surprisingly not cold. Now you're not supposed to explore these caves or lava tubes because they could collapse at any moment. However, I had heard of many hikers who have had to retreat to these caves to escape the elements or to acclimate. While waiting for me, Cisco had made an ahu. You see the lava waterfall? Making our final push to Red Hill cabin. So they're in the distance, 2 miles away. Here you can see where the 1984 flow overlapped the 1880 flow. The oxidation process has turned the 1880 flow a rust color. Soon we'll have Mililani red dirt. Yes, we finally made it. Pu'u'ula cabin, elevation 10,035 feet. Pu'u'ula stands for Red Hill, home sweet home. Red Hill.